Hey, beautiful people. Dils Victoria here. This is Monday Night Soulful Conversations. Thank you for joining us. I have this amazing, wonderful goddess, empress, queen, human being, Nicole Harvick, quantum leap, quantum energy healer, quantum leap now, but if we do that. And I wanted to bring her on to join me tonight for Monday Night Soulful Conversations. I feel she has a wealth of information. She's been through some things. She's an author. She's a speaker. She's all of the things, and I feel like she has so much stuff to offer. So thank you for joining me for Soulful Conversations.
Well, thank you for having me. I was so excited when I
Absolutely.
got the invitation, and I'm just happy to be here and, happy to be part of your audience.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it's Soulful Conversations is a Monday night empowerment chat or experience that I do. People come on and sometimes they ask questions about different things that they may be experiencing, and I give them guidance and whatnot. Or we just have a fun time pulling cards because I have my Goddess Isis deck that I created, as well as my Affirmations book, and it's a fun time. And we can choose any type of topic to talk about. So I was thinking, since you're a forgiveness expert, we can talk about forgiveness and what that looks like,
Absolutely.
because I think oftentimes people have a hard time forgiving themselves or even have a hard time forgiving other people. And so if you can shed some light on what that is and what that can look like and how can people go about forgiving, you
Well,
know?
that is such a good question because when I started my journey of healing after a really bad divorce with my ex of 25 years,
Hmm.
the one thing I was resistant was to forgive him because, he
Hmm.
was a narcissist. He cheated on me, very disparaging words. I mean, you're
Yeah,
uneducated, you're untrained, you're lazy. I mean, it just went on and on and
yeah,
on. And
yeah.
and shame on me for staying in it 25 years. But, sometimes I had two daughters and
Oh, no.
exactly. And I didn't even know he was a narcissist until, a couple years ago when I really did that deep dive.
Yeah.
But what I realized is that I had so much trauma inside me. So I started dealing with that. And then
Hmm.
I got to a point where, I've been doing the work, I've been looking at myself. I've been taking responsibility for my part of that, but I'm still sick. My hair's falling out and I'm scratching my skin until I bleed. I'm like, what
Oh,
is this? And when it came down to it, the component that I was missing was
hmm.
forgiveness. And
Hmm.
the first person I really started with was myself,
Hmm.
because what I realized is that there was so much anger in me from never speaking my truth with him,
Hmm.
from thinking that I don't want my daughters to see me fight. This will keep us, if I don't say anything, it'll be all good. Well, it
Yeah,
never was. Not standing up for yourself is never good. Or
right.
at least expressing your emotions. But
Yeah.
I just kept silent, and that was not who I was at that I don't even know that person.
Yeah, and it's a hard thing because I was in a narcissistic abusive relationship for a year, and it was a lot of name calling and the love bombing in the beginning. It's just like you feel like, oh my God, this person is amazing and they're the best thing ever, and they may be your person and the one. And then when they flip on you, you're like in disbelief because you're just like, who the fuck is that? Like, what? So I completely understand where you
And it's shocking,
Yes,
right? It's like you have to you're like, "Wait a minute, yeah, what am I doing? Who are you? Who am I?" And
yes,
figuring out why. Why am I here?
yes.
And I have to tell you that when I understood forgiveness was for me, when I
Mhm.
understood it was part of my healing journey, and when I realized that when I forgave my ex, that
Mhm.
was also clearing out the pain inside of me. And I realized
Mm.
that I didn't have to see him again. I didn't have to tell him. I didn't have to ever talk to him again. So you do it internally. You do it internally. You can
Mhm.
speak the words, you can think it. It's both are very effective. But I realize that, people don't understand that forgiveness is selfish because you're
Yeah,
doing it just for you.
right. I'm glad you touched on that, seeing that it's selfish because you're doing it for you. Because oftentimes people have a different definition of what that looks like. And then it's like, well, no, I don't want to forgive them because they hurt me and so on and so forth. So when you turn it around, and you do some self introspection of the forgiveness is for you and what that looks like for you to help release all those energies and those emotions and things that you've been holding on to and you consistently hold on to, that turns into diseases.
Oh, absolutely. It did for my mother. My mother died of breast cancer
Oh my
because she had never forgiven my father.
damn.
And, she always said she had, but literally a few days before she passed away, she, looked at me and said, he slept with all my friends.
Oh
And
wow.
so they had been divorced for over 20 years. She
Mhm.
carried that
For 20
literally right
years.
up until the time she left this earth.
Oh my God.
And it manifested into dis-ease.
Yes, yes.
Dis-ease.
Authenticity. It's a horrible thing. Thank you for the four people who are tuning in. Type in the chat where you looking from and what questions you have, because the topic for Soulful Conversations Monday night is forgiveness. Are you having a hard time forgiving? Like, what does forgiveness mean to you? What does that look like? Stuff like that. So put it in the chat. You know how we do here on Monday night Soulful Conversations. So I have different people that pop in and pop out at a time. So, but yeah, tell us more about like how your journey started and exactly who you. Hey, Erica from Valdosta, Georgia. Welcome, welcome. So tell us exactly like what was that process like for you? Because I know for me, that's something I still kind of like struggle with from time to time when it comes to forgiving other people. And I know it's for me, but the human side of me versus the spiritual side is like,
Right.
I don't want to
Right.
do that. Fuck that.
Well, and we're like, it's kind of our conditioning is
Mhm.
if you forgive them, you're condoning what they did, and it is not that at
Mm,
all. And in no way, shape, or form are you saying, I forgive you for that, for sleeping around, for doing this or for doing that.
right.
It's to get that trauma that they've created by doing that
The audience
out
is
of your body, out of your body. Let them take on everything they hurt you for, but don't take it on yourself because you didn't have anything to do with it. And it
right.
took me a long time to realize that, to where I was getting sick. And I thought,
Mhm.
if he didn't care enough about me to not do that, why do I care about suffering for him when I'm physically making myself sick by not forgiving him?
Ouch.
And when I kind of realized that, heard myself say that, I really went on a mission, and it was a journey that I just embraced because I had two daughters and I wasn't going. My mom's death was really my epiphany when I realized that she in essence let unforgiveness take her life.
Hmm.
And I thought, that is not happening to me. I am taking care of this and I am going to heal myself. And that's exactly what I did. Now, that's not to say there's not triggers, because right? Yeah, you understand that.
Yes.
Mhm. And because it's so painful, we bury things down so deep inside of us.
Yes.
There's a reason we have trauma, is because it hurts. It's
Mhm.
painful. I was embarrassed. I was ashamed that he cheated on me.
Yeah.
I'm like, and now that I look back, but it was just devastating to me. But
Yeah.
what is happening now, and I am very in touch with spirit guides, and I'm very, very intuitive as well. And what I was told is everything is bubbling up right now because we need to clear it, because we're all rising in frequency and vibration.
Oh my goodness. I've been feeling the rise of the frequency and vibration for the last couple of days, Nicole.
Oh, it's intense.
My body has been in vibration mode, like zzz. Girl, I'm
Inside, it's inner. I know. And I've had like 6 calls from Friday to today of people that like, what is going on? I can feel this inside of me. Is it the
Mhm.
coffee? Not even close.
And it's so overstimulating to the system. Like I've been feeling so overstimulated. Like my heart is full of joy, like I said earlier, and I'm at peace. It's a different type of peace, and I feel like myself going through another ascension, if you will, which is fine because I go through them all the time. But this one feels completely different.
Well, I'll tell you what my guides told me. And as you know, some of us have picked this time to come back because Gaia, Pachamama,
Yes,
Earth, whatever you want to call it, is rising. First time ever, she's taken her people with her. But
mhm,
as she ascends, we have to ascend with her. So what we've gone through is we had a very dense carbon-based body.
yes.
And those traumas are very dense as well. So
Mhm,
you didn't feel them in your old body. But
mhm.
as your vibration rises, as you rise, as you start understanding, everything, we had to change to crystalline bodies, which is a much lighter frequency. Well,
Oh,
guess what? Everything that was in the old body, which
yes.
you couldn't feel and you buried, is like bubbling up in the new body, because it's like, what is this? Why
Yeah,
am I being triggered? I thought I got rid of these. You didn't. You have a
yeah,
lot of stuff in there, and
yeah.
you can feel it in this new body. And there's a reason, because you're not as effective if you've got the trauma.
Mm,
You're not as effective if you and I are light workers. Just we hold the light for people, and it's very important that we do so. And to do so, we have to get rid of all
yeah,
these traumas. And so, yeah, the triggers are coming on really strong right now.
yeah. They coming on thick. They coming on
Yeah,
real.
like the sucker punch.
Yeah, child, I feel like a sucker punch because even last week, a friend of mine, she's also a light worker, and I was telling her, I'm like, I just feel like a level of sadness in the world. There's desperation. There is, I don't even know, depression, like all of the words. And she was like, I'm feeling the same way. And I
Hmm.
spoke to two other people that are light workers too, because I surround myself with light workers, and they're like, "Girl, were you purging yesterday?" I'm like, "Yes." My stomach was just like
Oh,
out of
and
control.
exhaustion.
That's the other word too.
Exhaustion is just, it's like I'll get up and do a few things. It's like, my God, I'm just, and
Tired for no reason. Like you
I
just did a
know
marathon.
it's crazy, but there is a lot of light, a lot of new light,
Mhm.
from the Schumann resonance coming down, hitting the earth. So
I'm
that too,
feeling.
and we're susceptible.
Yeah, it is. These past couple days, I've been feeling to go outside and be in the sun and go and just put my feet in the grass, and that's what I've been doing. Just take a walk. And today I was at the park, Forsyth Park here in Savannah. I just felt the need to just ground myself like for a good hour, and I just sat there and I grounded myself. And one of the maintenance guys that take care of the park, I ended up pouring and speaking life into him, and he was like, "Yo, you just changed my mindset in 2.5 seconds."
Ooh, you see, when we do raise our vibration, we find our people. And even
Yes,
if it's one interaction, you
I
have
said that.
changed someone's life.
I said that. I told him I was like, my specialty is speaking life into people and helping them to just honor who they are and just help them to pull out their full potential. And
Wow.
I said, if you think about it, every second of the day, a child is being born or a person's taking their last breath. And so on your tombstone is that dash. That dash is your space.
Dash, the
So what are you
dash.
doing with that dash? Like how are you spending your time? Because your time is valuable. It's a
Is
commodity. It's a currency more than money. What are you doing with your time? Who are you around?
right.
He was just looking at me like I have 5 heads. I'm like, it's okay, sir. You're gonna be all right. He's like, damn, you just and it girl, he didn't know what to do with himself.
But you're the ripple. You're
Huh?
the ripple. You're the ripple now. Now he will do it for someone.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It was amazing. I was just like, okay. And then I had a yellow butterfly that kept following me for like 10 blocks.
Really?
Yes. I was like, okay, I see you, messenger, guide, ancestor, whomever you it is in butterfly form. 10 blocks to follow me.
Wow, that's amazing. And,
Yeah.
and that, everything has significance right now.
Yes.
There's
Agreed.
no,
Mhm.
everyone, oh, it's a coincidence, but there is no such thing.
I don't believe in coincidence. Coincidence is in no way, shape, or form. And the number that I always see is 44 or 444.
I see that a lot too. I saw it today.
So what is your definition or meaning of that? Like what's the significance for you?
I saw that when my mom died, and I think it was for
Mhm.
me, I just remembered I felt like it was about change. It was about
Mhm.
not death, but I actually heard her call me. I always get messages down through me, but I heard her
Oh
call
wow.
me. And I woke up and I'm like 444, and I knew
Mhm.
I knew she was gone. I did.
Wow.
And you know death is just a transition. It's not an end.
Exactly. Yeah. When my grandmother passed away in 2018, she was in hospice, and I felt the need to clear out the energy for her to transition peacefully.
Hmm.
So I started saging on her behalf and saying prayers, and I asked her spirit guides to come and take her and allow her transition to be peaceful.
Oh,
And she died 30 minutes later.
wow.
She came to me, and because my mom and her siblings were pretty much arguing and fighting over her while she was in hospice, and I felt her energy, and she was like, how where did I go wrong with my kids? I said, your kids are grown, they're adults, they know what they're doing. This is not on you.
Right.
I said, your job is done. Go peacefully, be with grandpa. He's waiting for you on the other side. I said, I called in on your angels and your archangels. They're waiting for you. Just go peacefully. You don't need to worry about them. Let them figure it out. Your
Yeah.
job is done.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. And you just sit there and the things you witness with people, the greed and the want for control. And it's like, just let someone go.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
not the end. It is a new beginning.
Yeah, it is. I know when I had my near death experience in 2011, and I was the shoulda, coulda, woulda girl, and I was just like, once I overcome this experience, I need to make sure that I'm doing things for myself. And that's another way how I learned forgiveness too, because I was people pleasing all the time, people
Ugh,
pleasing all the time, doing this for this one, doing this for that one. I wasn't taking care of myself. And so I think universe, God sat me down and was like, okay, since you don't want to do this, we're going to show you the hard way.
the push, the
The push.
push. Yeah,
So,
down to your knees, girl, because and that's true. And it's interesting because when this divorce happened, I had all kinds of intuitive hits about it, things that
mhm.
happened. And I knew that he was doing this, but I had no tangible proof.
Yeah.
And when you talk about the universe shoving you, because it's like, okay, if you're not done, we're going to make you done.
Yes.
And what happened was, the way I found out is, my sixth grader, she was in sixth grade at the time, her iPod Touch was synced to his iPhone.
Oh,
She got,
wow.
oh yeah. And I wish I had listened sooner, because she got the messages, she got the texts, the sex, the pictures, the videos,
No.
everything.
Is she okay? Like mentally, emotionally?
You know what? She struggled with it for quite some time.
Bad.
And she also, for a long time, didn't want to talk to him. And
Mhm.
in sixth grade, how she compartmentalized it, she says, Mom, that lady has children too.
Oh,
You
man.
know, and so to her it was like, and it was real interesting too, because a couple years afterwards, she asked me, she says, did you ever cheat on him? And I said, no, I didn't. I said,
Wow.
that's not what you do when you're married.
Yeah.
And I just thought, thank goodness that I don't do that.
Yeah.
But you have to come to terms with it or not.
Yeah.
But she always tells me, she goes, I know what he is.
Hmm.
And he's got a girlfriend now. And she says, Mom, you'd really like her. She's really, really nice. She says, she's way too good for Dad.
Wow. That's
So
crazy.
I'll leave it at that.
I get it. I totally get it. I had to like literally sit with myself, and I had to tell myself the relationship was not real. It wasn't what you thought it was. And the fact that narcissistic people they like to prey on people who are strong because
Mhm.
they want to break them down. And I had to give myself permission to allow my own heart to break so I could build it back up and mend it back up again for myself and go through that process. And it was hard, like crying for days.
Yeah.
And one day I just got up. I'm like, fuck this shit. I ain't crying about this shit no more.
I'm done. I'm out of here.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
And I was told too that when you are crying about a certain specific subject, you are
mhm.
actually releasing the physical trauma through your tears. And that's why
Absolutely.
we feel better after a good cry.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, sometimes in my life, I've been told that I'm too sensitive, I'm too emotional, because I'm definitely, my heart is just pure gold, and I really don't like hurting other people's feelings, all that kind of stuff there. And when it comes to me, I had to learn that I can no longer focus on how the other person feels and self-sacrifice myself because of feeling guilty about, oh well, I want this person's in my space or whatever the case may be, and I had to learn to not do that. It's now paying attention to the nervous system. If my nervous system
Mm.
doesn't feel good around a person, I can't have that person in my space.
Isn't that interesting? I just had a conversation with a guy tonight that he's
Mhm.
learning he's an empath and
Mhm.
feeling all these things. And he says, I don't know how to control my nervous system. I
Yeah.
said, you'll learn. I said, breathing's very essential.
Yes. You got to
You
how to
know,
regulate it.
yeah, absolutely.
Gotta regulate
Absolutely.
it. And when you go through narcissistic abuse, your nervous system is bless you is all over the place. So you have to learn how to navigate through that process of soothing, self-soothing. Like I listen to 11-hour sleep meditation music when I go to
Mm,
sleep because that helps to retrain my thought process.
yeah,
That's why I don't have as much flashbacks as I used to. And that's why
good.
I don't experience a lot of PTSD as I used to because it would be hit me heavy and I'm not as triggered as I used to. Certain things still trigger me from time to time, but that's when I have to sit with myself and say, okay, why is this triggering me so bad? Like, why is this making me feel this way so bad? And then do some self inventory and work on that and around that.
Right. But isn't it amazing that we have come to understand our triggers, why they're
Mhm.
coming up, and how we can release them? And
Yeah.
that's so essential is
Mhm.
understanding that feeling, oh, I don't like that. I have to get that out of me.
Yeah. A lot of times I used to be a person that would spiritually, emotionally, mentally dissociate. My soul would just leave my body.
Oh,
When
that's
I was
common too.
Yeah, when I was in fight or flight mode or in survival mode or I feel like I'm in danger, I'm physically here, but I'm
Hmm.
not here.
You're on the outside looking in.
I'm on that part. And so I had to learn that I had to just like Lisa Nichols says, when fear comes upon you, sit with it until it dissipates because it has to at one point.
Yeah, yeah,
Has
that's absolutely true.
So I had to learn how to just like sit with it and just be like, okay, like why is this fear popping up now? And
Right.
soothe myself through the process, and it would dissipate, and then the answer would come to me. I'm like, oh, okay, now I understand why that's happening.
Yeah, now I can deal with it. Now I get it. And
Right.
I've even had to go through that with my dad, who's 85. And that's why I'm in South Carolina now, is because,
Mhm.
I knew I had to help him. But
Yeah.
he had an argument with my daughter like last July, and it triggered me because I listened to it and I wasn't getting involved. They were both adults, but I listened to it and I heard the voice. I could just, I felt that intense anger that he would always get.
Mhm.
I'm like, oh my God, that's why I moved out at 17 and never came back.
Yeah.
And, I have come to understand that while I love him earthly, I don't want another soul life with him,
Yeah. I
you
understand
know?
that. Yeah.
And I broke the contracts a couple months ago.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things that when if I choose to come back, I want to come back with all my knowledge. Everything that I've learned now,
Absolutely.
I'm bringing back with me. And I
Yeah.
don't want to have to I want to come in with that high vibration and not
Yes.
be with people that I have to navigate around, I guess you would say.
Mhm. Yep. I've been doing the same thing too when it comes to ending soul contracts with people
Mhm.
in my life and doing a lot of cord cutting. Are there ever times when it's appropriate not to forgive? Hey, Auntie Rizzy. Hey, Glover Bullock. So my friend Christine is asking, are there ever times when it's appropriate not to forgive?
I don't think there is, because not forgiving is going to continue the hurt within you.
Mm,
If you don't forgive, you don't get rid of it, and there's always going to be that block in
yeah.
terms of, even if you maybe forget about for a while, there's something in there that feels heavy or wrong or painful. And so in not forgiving, you really are only hurting yourself. Now, you do not have to forget, because what I tell people is, if you forget, then you're forgetting the lesson and you never want to repeat that. So you
Mm,
just reframe it as, what did I learn from it?
mm,
What did I learn from it? And for me, I learned, you know, I, in that relationship, and the one I had for about 6 weeks after, with someone that I dated in high school, I
mhm.
always pull in the same type of person. It's
Mm.
me bringing them to me. And what I realized is that I'm bringing, like narcissists, I'm bringing people that lie, that cheat, and that have some sort of addiction every single time.
Recently I've been experiencing the opposite. I've
Interesting.
I've been experiencing the opposite because before, yeah, I would say that I would bring in narcissists, people who had this, that, next, and the third. But recently, I've been experiencing the opposite, which
Hmm.
is different for me,
Yeah.
and you know, experiences that are more aligned with who I am and what I represent. And I think because I'm more in tune with myself and I'm more loving towards me and I'm more paying attention to what I need and knowing now, like fully be clear on what
Hmm.
I deserve. And so
Right.
I feel like I'm calling in different experiences and different people, moments in my life now, as
Yeah.
opposed to what was happening before. And I think when I shifted certain things about myself, because I even feel myself changing in different ways. These last couple of days, it's just been like this journey has been beautiful lately. And it's like a sense of joy and peace and calm and just like exactly.
Isn't that nice though? And for me, I've had to spend a lot of time alone to
Hmm.
to just understand me. So I haven't gone back out. I haven't tried to date. I'm not going to swipe. I'm not doing any of that. And I really am just dating myself, if you will.
Yeah, I'm dating myself to a certain extent. But I find that sometimes I don't even have to swipe shit or do nothing. And people just be showing up like, hey, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. It, you know
Always.
what? And that vibration rises and people feel that frequency,
Mhm.
and it's like a little moth to light. It's like, ooh, she's got a lot of good light in her. I want to be her friend.
Right. I did go and check out Facebook dating and I scrolled a little bit. I'm like, this some fuck shit. And I deleted that app.
I'm out. I'm out.
I
Yeah,
don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Not that to say that, I'm not ready to date or I'm ready for like real authentic love.
good.
If it comes now, it comes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's either way. But I'm also like feel like I'm dating myself, so to speak, because I just feel in my spirit the need to just like take myself out to lunch, go to the park, do different things.
Self-care.
Yes,
Self-care is self-love.
yes.
And that raises your vibration too,
Yeah, I
you
feel my
know?
vibration raising in a different way and having to like going back to forgiveness. Even today, when I was walking down the street, I was just saying to myself, okay, I need to forgive this person, this person, this person, this person. And I release it and let it just be what it is and just carry it with that damn butterfly that kept following me.
Yeah.
That
Let
block.
it go. Let it go. Yeah.
Right. We're working on that. So it's just interesting that you say that because I understand that. Because when I look back at my track record of just like the women that I dated, or even the men that I dated in my life, it was filled with just like narcissistic tendencies, behavior, cycles, patterns, and so on and so forth. And it's like, okay, I understand parts of those things I did call in. I get it because I was operating in that frequency. But these days, I haven't been operating in that frequency whatsoever. It's just been a lot of calm and peace.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And as I look back, I think something tells me, as a healer, you want to help everybody.
Oh,
And those
that's
people, I couldn't help those people because they wouldn't
right.
help themselves.
And that's the thing, having to be open, honest, and ready and willing to want
Hmm.
to do the work, so to speak. And a lot of people are not there yet. So I find myself, I can be around those people for a little bit, but I can't give them access to me in a lot of ways.
Right, right.
So,
You have like that, your
yeah,
force build up.
right. Yes. So Vernicia said, well, she asked, how do you forgive and still have boundaries?
You literally use your voice with boundaries. If you've forgiven someone that is still in your life, that's when you really have to. have to go into yourself and understand that you've forgiven them for what they did to you, but
Mhm.
keep in mind they did that. So your boundary would be if they, whether it's they asked to join you for lunch or if they asked to come over to your house or whatever, you just start using no.
Mhm.
No
And
is
it's
no
a
is a
hard
complete
thing.
sentence.
It is a
No,
complete sentence.
yeah, and it's really hard because sometimes these people are family, and family is always our biggest lesson.
Yep.
We come into the family unit because we need to learn or they need to learn something. And I tell people, if someone's doing something to you, you don't have to let them back in or
Mhm.
let them dominate you
Mhm.
or guilt you into being back in your life. It says if
Yep.
it's painful and disruptive to you, no matter
Mhm.
what they say, you come first and it's a no. And there's no guilt there because all you're doing is saving yourself in terms of if they've done it once, they might do it again. And
Absolutely.
yeah, and so you do get to put yourself first.
Mhm.
You get to protect yourself, and if you need to, if that boundary needs to be no, you get to state it and stand
Absolutely.
in your power, and it feels good.
It does feel good because I felt that a couple weeks ago when I had to walk away from somebody and I let them know that what I was experiencing didn't feel like love and what I was experiencing wasn't aligned with me, and it was like that gaslighting manipulation, like
Ooh,
trying to get me to stay in that type
yeah,
of situation. And I was like, yeah, no, not today, not ever
yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
So
And
I
it
took that.
feels different now.
Yes,
These new bodies, this new time.
yes,
It before it was like, okay, this feels kind of weird, but now it's like, no, I know what this is,
yeah.
and I'm not partaking in it.
Yeah, because I was losing sleep and I had a heavy heart, and I was just like, girl, just you got to tell yourself the truth. This is not aligned with you. It's not who you are. It's not what you want. And it's okay for you to walk away from said situation and just keep it pushing.
Right. And this is knowing yourself, and this is not what you want. You have to be honest with yourself.
Yeah, you have to be honest with yourself because I'll be, like I said, people pleasing energy because I grew up learning how to people please. Being the oldest of four and having to do this for my sister, my brothers, and da da da
Oh,
da. And so having to like retrain my mindset
yeah,
around it and retrain my body around it of what that looks like. And it's just like if it doesn't sit well with me now, I had to learn to no longer feel guilty about it because it doesn't feel good to me. And even if I came off selfish, fuck it, I'm selfish.
yeah, exactly. And that's the thing is what you'll find when you do set your boundaries of no, or I'm not doing that, or
Mhm.
whatever. You've kind of at that point trained people how to teach. You've
Have to
taught
teach
that
you,
person how to,
teach you.
and they don't like that you're telling them no. But
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't matter because it's not about them, it's about
About me.
you. And you have to continue like reiterating that to get that brain rewired.
Yeah, and that's something that I call it muscle power every single
Mhm.
day. Muscle power, where those thoughts and those processes come into your head, and learning how to shift it immediately before it takes over, because it'll take over easily. And this right here can either make you or break you, one out the two. So
Absolutely.
just
And
deciding whether you want to be powerful in your thought process, or allow your brain to take you down the fucking rabbit hole of I'll
oh,
make it.
which we've all been there, and it is not fun, and I do not miss it.
I don't either. And I'm really sitting with myself. I'm advocating for myself in that way where it's just like, nah, I think I'm good. I'm good over here.
Yeah, and this conversation is so important, for men and women.
Yes.
And the thing is, all that conditioning that we've had our whole life brought us here.
Hmm.
So when are we going to start, talking to our daughters about no as a complete? I do, you know, but we're conditioning, we're being trained to act certain ways that go against like our core, and
Hmm.
that's not right.
Yeah. If it doesn't align with my core values, my love languages, my integrity, who I am as a person, if it doesn't feel right to me, I don't want
Yeah.
it.
And I'm there too. And people, well, what do you do? It's like, well, if there's a movie on, I'll go watch it. If I'm hungry one day, I'll go have a nice meal.
Go paint
I'll
my
read.
nails.
Exactly. I read a lot,
Yeah.
and luckily I have people like you and a lot of things like this that I do.
Yeah.
And they just don't understand that this can replace, but
Yeah.
it does. This is a very soulful conversation that
Mm.
gives me hope for humanity.
Yeah. And that's why I do it. This is the reason why I do it, because I know that I'm a leader and I'm here for a reason. And this is part of the purpose. And I specialize in speaking life into people. So why not? Why not?
Exactly. Exactly. Because people sometimes don't even know they've lost their life force.
Yep.
They just, I didn't, when I was going through my divorce, I was completely muscle memory.
Yeah.
And I'd get through the day and I'd be like, I don't even remember that.
Yeah.
Really. I know I did it.
Yeah.
Take my kids to their dance lessons or volleyball tryouts or whatever, but I was not there. And
Mhm.
you talk about your soul leaving your body.
Yeah.
I just got in the car and drove.
It's like autopilot, and then your
Hmm.
soul is just wandering somewhere,
Yeah,
and you're present, but you're not present. You're there, but your soul not there. I always
absolutely.
tell people all the time, like, if you can't remember what you ate yesterday, or even can't remember what you ate today, that means you dissociated out yourself.
Yeah,
Remember.
exactly.
And
Exactly.
sometimes I do that. So I have to say, okay, like, what did I eat for lunch today? And I have to ponder and think. Okay, cool. I had, like, right now, I don't remember what I ate for lunch. Oh, okay, yeah. I had Thai chicken.
Oh, yay. That sounds good. That sounds good.
And then
Yeah.
this morning I had a cinnamon bagel with cream cheese with
Yeah.
some
And
tea.
I've also heard that like if the next gig comes in, we really don't remember, it's
Mhm.
because the universe is teaching us to live in the moment. It doesn't matter. You can't go back
Yes,
and change that,
right.
but then you think, my God, I'm crazy because I can't remember.
Right. Yeah.
But
Or is
then
it
I think,
getting older? Like, I'm
maybe,
getting old,
yeah.
my brain. Yeah, so I get it. I get it. All right, guys. So this is card pull time. So I'm going to pull a card for Nicole, and then I'll pull a card for everyone that's on here. But do I have permission to pull a card for you? Put yes in the chat, please.
And you have my permission.
Yes. So, Mama Isis, what is the message for Nicole? What is it that you would like for her to know? Okay. It says, Goddess Isis empowers you to embrace and accept that you are filled with abundance. She wants to empower you to honor your wants, needs, and desires because you deserve them. She wants you to experience an abundant life on purpose because it's your birthright.
Ooh, that's
Yeah.
powerful. That's
Yeah.
powerful.
Yeah.
Thank you. I love
You're
that.
welcome.
And it
Okay.
really resonates with me. So that's awesome.
I know. Hey, Kitty Cass. Absolutely. Yes and hi. Okay. You want a card pull? Kitty Cass, you were just sitting there waiting for a card pull. Okay, Vernicia. Mama Isis, what is the message for Vernicia? Vernicia, you got two cards. Oh, well, actually, one of them is my introduction card. So, Vernicia, Goddess Isis wants you to know that your gifts and abilities are meant for the greater good of yourself as well as humanity. You were created to accept and also give unconditional love and compassion. Accept and embrace your gifts and be proud of them as they are part of your mind, heart, and spirit. That's for you, Vernicia. Okay, so Kitty Cass. Kitty Cass, you just came in? All right, cool. You came into a wonderful conversation, soulful conversation. What is the message for Kitty Cass, Mama Isis? What is it that you'd like for them to know? Kitty Cass, Goddess Isis wants you to know that you are greater than you give yourself credit for. You are more powerful than you think about yourself and feel about yourself. Allow your light to shine powerfully in being exactly who you are, Kitty Cass. Whatever that means for you. All right, Auntie Rissy, let's see what the card has for you in your sovereign being self. Every time I pull a card for Christine, it's always about sovereignty.
Hmm.
Always about sovereignty. She's one of my best friends. She's like my sister.
Oh,
So, Goddess Isis wants you to know. Oh, again, I guess this is going to be the card of the day. Goddess Isis wants you to know that you're greater than what you give yourself credit for. You are more powerful than you think and feel about yourself. Allow your light to powerfully shine in being exactly who you are. I guess this is the card of the night.
wow.
Anybody else like a card pull? Put yes in the chat. You're welcome, Kitty Cass. Not a problem. Make sure that you follow Nicole Harvick. Share her stuff. Give her some love. Subscribe to her channel.
Oh,
Please do, because she is gracing us with our presence. So my card is Goddess Isis empowers you to set powerful boundaries with those around you. She empowers you to trust yourself and your intuition to see people for exactly who they are. She empowers you to take a look at the parts you play in the lives of others and take full ownership of them.
ooh,
I know. That
good one too.
is a good one. That is a good one. I literally was in full trance creating this deck. This was so not me. It was Goddess Isis, because the first one I did, it was me. And when I tried to upload it onto Make Playing Cards, it would not go through. And she was like, I didn't sign that shit.
Isn't that interesting how that works? It was wrong. Whatever,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
No, those are good.
She don't play. She disciplines my behind.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So now Nicole and I are linked. Okay, you and Auntie Rizzy are linked.
I love that.
So I'm gonna pull affirmations from my book. You guys know you just give me 1 to 365. The process is close your eyes and take a deep breath. And what's the first number that pops up is the number that you give me. And the number that popped up for me was 265. So 265 for me says, I ask myself for true forgiveness daily.
Ooh, go figure.
Right? I apologize to myself for beating myself up for past mistakes and holding myself hostage to pain and sadness instead of releasing what no longer serves me, which is the absolute truth with things that it happens to me in my life.
Wow.
Yes.
And for those of you who think there are coincidences, they're not. Yeah.
What's your number, Nicole?
32.
2?
32.
32. Okay.
It came in immediately.
Right. So 32 says, I accept every experience and challenge that prepares and strengthens me for the amazing blessing that are coming my way.
I love it. I love it.
What was that about? You said.
I'm putting together a goddess retreat at the end of October, of all things.
I have something for you for that, by the way.
Okay, awesome.
So Christine 111. Erica, really 44? Erica, I see 44 everywhere I go. Did you put that because of that? Okay, so 111, Christine. 111 says, I am capable of all the things I set my mind to doing in my life. I do not allow fear or doubt to prevent me from doing what I know in my heart needs to be done. That's 111 for Auntie Rizzy. Oh, okay, Erica. Vernicia, 80. 80 says, ouch. I forgive myself for any self-sabotaging thoughts and patterns I put myself through when I was hurt and in deep pain. I did not realize the harm I was causing myself. This is crazy how a lot of forgiveness is coming up, and that's the topic. That's for you, Vernicia. I forgive myself for any self-sabotaging thoughts and patterns I put myself through when I was hurt and in deep pain. I did not realize the harm I was causing myself. So this book is based off of all of my life experiences that I've been through. I didn't want to do a biography, so I did a book of affirmations.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's so impactful. But when that goes to show you what's coming up tonight is because it's so important.
Yeah.
It's like your key to a good life. It's a key to a healthy life, key to a happy life. Forgiveness.
Absolutely. Erica 44 says, I remind myself daily that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be and that I'm being prepared for something powerful. I remind myself daily that I am exactly where I'm supposed to be and that I'm being prepared for something powerful. And it's a conversation I have a lot. I always have that conversation. Glover Bullock, 297. So that says, My inner healing leads me. Wait, my inner healing leads to my long-term happiness and peace. My inner healing leads to my long-term happiness and peace. That's for you, Glover Bullock. Right, Erica? She said, wow. Because that's a conversation I'm always having that conversation.
Wow.
Yeah, so it took me 6 years to write this book. The way this book was created was from 2014 to 2016. I would write affirmations on my Facebook page based on scriptures from like Joel Osteen, because I used to follow him a lot, and just
Mhm.
different things that I was going through in my life. And I thought, well, maybe other people would be going through the same thing too. And I would post them. And I just felt the need to copy and paste all of the affirmations and put it in Microsoft Word. And I ended up emailing it to myself. And I didn't find it until 2019.
You're kidding. And
Serious.
divine timing, and nothing happens until it's on your timeline.
Yeah. So I discovered that I had written 187 affirmations. And so I went back and I edited them and I saw my growth process. And I was like, okay, since 187, fuck it, I'm going to just do 365.
There you
I
go.
just started creating the other rest of the affirmations that way. And that's how it came about. 365 days of affirmations for the mind, heart, body, and spirit.
That's amazing.
That's
That's
how
so
it happened.
amazing.
Yeah. So I have 4 books. The first one is Your Life, Your Purpose, No Explanations. The second one is this one. The third one was 7 lessons my near-death experience taught me, and 8 lessons healing from sexual abuse taught me. And I just finished the 5th book. It's 100 affirmations for self-discovery.
Whew, you are powerful. You
Thank
really
you.
are. Because you're addressing what could have made you the victim,
Yeah.
but
Mhm.
you're not about to let that happen.
Nope. Nope, not at all. And that's why I feel like sometimes it brings me to tears when I think about how that abusive relationship could have truly tore me up and broke me. However, I'm still standing, I'm still here, and I'm still mentally intelligent and mentally stable to do the work that I do, still work with people, still create my products that I do, still be able to be present in conversations and still be able to lead and guide and teach and share and all of those things despite what I've been through. So I
Wow.
know I'm powerful in that way. Because going from child sexual abuse to miscarriages to this to that, da, 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 almost dying, like, because even when I almost died in 2011, 2.5 weeks later, I had to end up in a hospital again because my gallbladder was damaged beyond repair. So I was healing from one surgery going into another one.
Whew. I'll tell you, you got some stories.
Mm-hmm.
Have some stories. So you are definitely here for a reason.
Absolutely. And I don't take that lightly.
Yeah.
I really don't. And when people cross my path, I don't take that lightly either. I really don't, because I feel like I have a message to share and I share it and then I just go about my business. Some people stay, some people go,
Yeah.
you
Right.
know?
Yeah,
So it's
you're quite special for sure.
I do my best. I
Oh
do
yeah.
my
Yeah.
best.
I'm in awe. I mean, you really are amazing.
I appreciate that. So are you. And so I was like, let me bring
Thank
Nicole
you.
on.
Oh, thank you. But
Well,
it's just, I've been through some things, but when you compare it to you, I mean, those things could cripple a lot of people, and the
yeah,
resilience you've shown and your ability and desire to help others is
yeah.
what I find most just heartwarming about you.
Thank you. I had to make a decision to either emotionally, mentally, spiritually exist or emotionally, mentally, spiritually live. I chose to do the other part. Like it don't matter how many times my heart is broken, who hurt me, I'm still open to love. I'm still
Wow.
open to unconditional love. I'm still open to um, experiencing what compassion can feel like at its finest, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, platonic love, romantic love, friendship, family. I'm still open to those things because it's still possible, it's attainable.
Yes.
So,
And if you didn't love yourself, which is so important, you wouldn't be open to that. And a
yeah.
lot of people don't understand that loving
Hmm.
yourself is
Hmm.
something that's so needed by everyone before they even step their foot out the door. Love yourself
Right.
first.
And I always say that my grandparents, my mom's mom and dad, gave me so much unconditional love. Because my mom, she had me in New York and she sent me to Belize when I was 2 weeks old, and my grandparents came to pick me up at the airport
Wow.
because she loved me enough to send me with them because she really couldn't do the things she needed to do by me, do right by me. So I appreciate it and I'm grateful for her for that because they gave me so much unconditional love, compassion, protection. Like those were my first parents and they really nurtured my heart. And that's why I have the heart that I have because I always said if it wasn't for that gift and that experience, when I was going through all those abusive situations, I'll be all types of fucked up.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And you sometimes you don't know it till you get to this place in life and you can look back, it's like
Right.
it
Yeah.
was a blessing in
Yeah.
disguise.
And that's why I talk about my life and my journey because I always say there's somebody on the ledge of a building. There's someone trying to do something to themselves. There's a little girl, little boy in the closet hiding because they're being abused, that this is happening. And so I have to speak and speak my truth and share what I've been through to show them, look at me. Look at me. I've been where you are, and I'm still loving and caring, and I'm not allowing those situations to define me because I've mastered reclaiming my power. I've mastered reclaiming all of who I am as a person. I've mastered taking back my energy, which I've given to other people. Yeah,
Wow.
I mastered that.
Yeah.
So that's
Whew.
where my freedom is. Like I gave myself the gift of freedom to release all of that shit and not hold on to it and still be able to allow people to experience how I love and to bring love into my life as well.
Yeah. So you are a shining example of how it can be done if you
Mhm.
desire it, if your heart desire it. And you
Absolutely.
have to work at it. But look at
Yes.
you. Look at
It's
you.
constant work. It's not like people
Till
are like,
we die, girl, we're always going to be
no,
healing. It's like,
healing ain't like this. Healing is
yeah.
like that.
Oh, it's like trying to swat a fly, you just
Yes.
quite.
Constant. Constant. So for me, like I love this. I love helping people. I love speaking life into others and, being able to just say, okay, well, you'll be fine. You're going to be okay. This is a process, it's a journey. But the one thing I always remind folks and empower them to think about is what is this teaching you?
Yeah.
What is this teaching you? It's a lesson and apply the
Oh,
lesson. Apply the lesson. And it's not easy by any means, by any stretch, but
no.
I thrive in being uncomfortable. I thrive in it.
Interesting. Very
Yeah.
interesting. And I've been uncomfortable many times, and it's like you're uncomfortable with something and you step over it.
Yep.
And then comes the next thing and you step over it and you're like, that wasn't that bad. That wasn't that bad. And you kind of puff out your chest and keep going.
Yeah, I've been known to like hypothetically speaking, step on the glass and get cut millions of times, or
Mhm.
step on the charcoal and allow my feet to burn as many times. My sacred spiritual name that was given to me by Goddess Isis is Phoenix.
Ooh.
And I went by Phoenix from 2021 to recently. And I came back to Dillis because that was for a season because I was to the point where I've mastered transformation and rising from the ashes too damn much. And Mama Ice was like, all right, done. Your lessons is done. We don't need to do that no more. But rising from the ashes was something that I feel like I have a fucking PhD in the goddamn shit. Like constantly like, bloop,
And
bloop.
I have a picture of me side by side, like when I first like really got sick, when the divorce was going on,
Yeah.
no light in my eyes. And then
Mhm.
I have a picture of me like literally 8 years later, and I look so
Yeah.
much different and younger.
Yeah.
And the bottom picture is the phoenix.
Yes.
We
Absolutely.
rose from the ashes.
All the time. All the time. You're very admirable. Thank you for being here. You're welcome. Thank you for your presence as well, Kitty Cass. We appreciate that you're here. I'm very big in celebrating people,
You
expressing
should.
how grateful I am for people. Like my friend Auntie Rizzy, she's one of my nearest and dearest. Like that girl seen me vulnerable, cry, snot, and everything. But she's one of my people, and I am so grateful for her. I tell her that all the time. And to watch her evolution and her journey has
Mhm.
been fucking awesome for me to just witness and be a part of. And she says the same to me. We just have that mutual loving reciprocity as sisters, even though we're not sisters, but that's my tribe. you know.
Yes. And we've got to keep them close. We've got to take care of each other. We've got to honor them, you know.
Yeah,
And
we know
and
I'm trying to do that.
it's wonderful to have people that
Hmm.
we know love us no matter what we look like,
Yes,
at that time.
exactly,
Because
exactly.
I've had those people too that, when I was going through everything, I didn't even know.
Hmm.
And, I was with two high school, well, actually one was like junior high girlfriend, and we went and we take yearly trips. And the next year we took a trip. She goes, last year, she goes, we were worried about you. We were really
Hmm.
worried about you. And I didn't even know it. And she says, but she says, I knew you'd come back.
Yeah,
And I didn't even know that I was showing up in that manner. And they held space for me.
yeah, absolutely.
They held space for me.
I think that the universe assigns certain people in our lives to be here for us, those who can handle when we're messy and we're not good. And because I
I've
don't think
been
when it
messy.
comes to, right, I don't think when it comes to light workers that a lot of people can be able to handle us with care when we're going through something, because we're the go-to people that everyone comes to. So there's no book of instructions of how to handle Dillis when Dillis is breaking down and whatnot. So there's only like a few people in my life, you as well, people in my life that actually does that for me, that
Yeah,
can actually be strong for me when I'm breaking down or going through whatever the case may be. So, I'm very fortunate to have key people in my life that are able to do that for me.
they're important. We keep them close.
Yes. So can you give us a little bit of, tell us a little bit about the quantum energy side of what you do? Because I think a lot of people are interested in that.
I use the word quantum as when we are healing, what I do is I help you find your trauma,
Hmm.
because you might not even know where it comes from, but
Mm.
your body knows where it comes from. And
Okay.
so I let you guide me to where it's at. And quantum is things existing in many places at once.
Hmm.
And so your past and present and future can all be existing at the same time.
Hmm.
So I let you take me back to where this happened or where you need to go.
Hmm.
And then you will see yourself as that person at that time that it happened. And so many times I will work with someone and we think we're going one way. And a lot of times how I do it is as I'll have you envision a stage. And when
Okay.
that curtain opens, who's there?
Right.
Just last week we thought we were going to be forgiving a mother, when in fact who showed up was a little 12-year-old girl in a princess costume
Oh,
that
wow.
had been made fun of.
Oh, wow.
That pain from that, and that's what we needed to purge. So
Hmm.
you are my guide. Now I'm very intuitive and I can usually see it with you, or I
Hmm.
can feel what you went through, or sometimes explain why that happened, because I go
Hmm.
along on the journey with you, but you are the guide. And what we do is we find it when we have to physically purge it. You can't just talk about it. So a
Hmm.
lot of times there'll be, one lady spent 20 minutes yelling at her mother who is deceased.
Oh, shit.
But you know how energy can permeate the universe. And, she was shaking her finger at me because of you, da 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 da. She'd never had the courage to do that when her mother was alive.
Oh, wow.
So we brought her back, and she just purged all of it. And I've worked with her 3 times. I'm going to work with her tomorrow, but she was so frantic. She would just go from one subject to the next. I'm like, I just let her. And then when we did some forgiving and purging, the next time she came back, she was calmer, still a little scattered.
Mhm.
That's okay.
Yeah.
You when you have trauma, you've been through a lot, and I honor that you're working on yourself and you want to be healed.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
so tomorrow will be our 4th session, but I never cut people off. It's like, you call me if you need me, you text me if you need me. It's not like one and done. No, I can't. You can't do that.
Hmm.
And she sent me a text today, and I can read into her texts that she's much calmer.
That's good.
She released that, she let it go, and therefore has that emotional freedom of all those things that happened with her mother.
Wow. I did a 4-hour past life regression session in March with a friend of mine that was a hypnotherapist, and I was able to see parts of myself from childhood stuff to seeing my mom when she was pregnant with me and all the pain she was going through. And when she first held me, I felt her tears on my cheek
Oh,
and what she was
yeah. Isn't that
experiencing.
amazing?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it can take you right back,
it took me
you
back
know.
there. It really did.
Yeah,
And so,
because every memory, every single memory, and you know, the lineage, those memories pass down.
yeah.
But you think you don't remember. But I've had people that, you know, when their mom was pregnant with them, well, my mom's angry, or I'm feeling,
Yeah.
you know, it's all in your body. We just have to find it.
Yeah. Because I felt her sadness and her pain and her heartbreak and everything. And I had
Right.
told her what I saw, and her mouth dropped. And she was like, "How'd you know that?" I'm like, "I just did a hypnotherapy session and it popped up."
Yeah,
So,
and that's what I use as light hypnosis, you know, just
yeah.
my voice and calming and
Mhm.
take them back or back, you know, and if it's something they don't want to go to, I never push, because if
Right.
they don't want to go there, that means it's not on their timeline yet. We have to get rid
Right.
of something else before we can get rid of that.
Right. Absolutely.
But it's
100%.
effective. It is
Yeah,
effective.
it is because it really helped me in a lot of different ways to see things a little different when it came to my life and who I am, and I was able to like step outside myself,
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's
But thank
amazing
you
though.
so much for coming on and joining Monday Night Soulful Conversations.
I'm so glad you asked me. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So I'm going to make sure everyone's following you
Oh,
on.
thank you. Thank you. Yeah, and you know, everything is under my name, whether it's, you know, it's TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. You know, I'm just putting it, I'm branding myself that way I won't forget.
Good. That's a good thing that you're branding yourself that way. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us Monday Night Soulful Conversations. I hope that all is well, and we'll see you next week, Monday. Have another guest because I'm working on bringing on different people on to share their expertise, and we'll choose a topic that we can talk about, and of course, the card pull and the affirmations. So I'm glad that your affirmation was on point, Nicole.
Oh, my goodness, are you kidding? That was like, I really enjoyed it tonight, and I thank you for having me here.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to jump off because I have one more call to
No
do. Can you
problem.
believe that?
Yeah.
But thank you. You are amazing. I am so glad I found you on Al, and
Same.
I adore you. Thank you so much.
We'll talk soon.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye. Okay, guys. So I'm going to wrap it up. It is 8:05. I hope y'all had a good time. Thanks, ladies. You're welcome. Welcome, welcome. Hope you guys had a good time. Till next time. We'll see y'all soon. Bye.